Hey, welcome to another episode of The Rob Report. I'm your host, Robert BOBTV Brown. Before we get into the segment, by the end of this video, I want you to do a few things for me. First of all, if you like the video, hit the like button. Please do. If you don't like it, hit unlike. It's okay. Make sure you are subscribed to this channel. Sometimes, as Jimmy Dole would say, you find yourself unsubscribed and you need to make sure that you subscribe to this channel. Hit the notification bell right next to it so you can be notified when a new video is being dropped. Whoop, there it is. And more importantly, the super chat will be on for this segment, so if you want to donate toward the efforts of Bob TV, that's freely up to you. I do have a job, but any amount will help toward the growth of this channel. And more important, let us help you help us by introducing you to a program. There's a link down below that says Equal Justice for All. You're going to click that video link and there's some educational tutorial about a phenomenal program in America that is really making equal justice a reality for every citizen. So this program is phenomenal. The proceeds from you participating in the program will go back, 10% will go back into the Bob TV YouTube channel. So anyway, my name is Robert Brown with The Rob Report. Let's get into it. Well, Bernie Sanders went back to Cali. He went to Cali and he did some rallies in Cali. But one of the things I want to talk about is Bernie Sanders taking time out of his busy schedule to campaign with unions. Watch this.
Thank you very much. And I'm here today, I should tell you, not as a candidate for president, but as somebody who has spent the last 40 years of his life walking on picket lines with unionized workers. And the University of California is one of the great university systems in the world. But it is not good enough to be a great university. It is not good enough to be teaching our kids in a wonderful way. It's not good enough to be having a great hospital and a great medical center. The University of California must not be a corporate type employer. We are the wealthiest nation on earth, and the day is going to come when great public universities like the University of California or the University of Vermont will become tuition free. We are going to demand that the 1% in large profitable private corporations start paying their fair share of taxes. Because I believe from the bottom of my heart
the main reason that we're here today is pay cuts, and also there's a push by University of California to cut our pension as well, which is a really big benefit that we have here.
Yeah, we feel amazing to have Bernie Sanders here today because we both support the same thing: equality and justice, fair wages, fair practices.
There's a hole in the way the world can be, but we have to make a revolution. Get out of your comfort zone. Look at comfort zone.
All right, so this is one of the things we're going to have a hard talk about this election. Now, one of my first contacts with Senator Bernie Sanders was at the Verizon workers rally. This is one of the things that's going to give him strength. Now, look, I know a lot of ADOS people don't want to talk about Bernie Sanders. They call him, some call him racist, don't care about black people. and they base that on the simple fact that he's not for reparations. All right, so I guess that means he don't care about black people, and that's a valid point, because he was for reparations for the Holocaust victims, and he even drafted a bill that got shut down to give them some type of reparations. And when I mean reparations, I mean a check. That's right, not just. I'm gonna do a separate. I'm gonna do a Rob report talking about, yeah, when we mean reparation, we mean a check. A check, because we don't need nobody giving us this and giving us that. Give us the money so we can get it on our own, because things get shift when people say they're going to give us these things to try to close the wealth gap, education gap, and things like that. And it's the same old, and nothing get changed. And I am for a financial reparation being paid to every African American descendant of slaves. But that's not the only thing I'm for. Okay, some people is that or nothing. I'm not that way. You can't make me that way. I'm not gonna ever be that way. I am gonna pretty much lock my vote in on how you spend time with the black community, and you learning from the black community the needs that they have most, and you doing whatever you can to grab the policy. If you need to get a team to help you with that, you do that. If you're not going to be doing those things, I mean, I got a lot of caveats. Nina Turner got to be your vice president because she did more for you than anybody else, and she's a black sister on your campaign. She's out here opening up for you. She got your vision. She the one shut a lot of stuff down in the DNC. She was on the Unity Commission trying to get your policies passed when you were not there. So that she should be VP. Okay, she should be VP. Tulsi Gabbard, if she's going to be anything, Secretary of State. That way she can stop these wars. But she should be VP. That black, smart woman should be VP. And if she's not your pick for VP, no. I am for reparations, and I mean a check. No. And yet, but at the same time, I'm for other things. So I want reparations and more. Let me get off that. That's another subject I'm going to talk about on a Rob report, because when I am talking about reparation, I do include a check. Yet at the same time, there's other things I want to with reparations. I want it all. There's no one that and nothing else with me. That's not me. That's you. You want to do that? That's fine. But that's not me. I want it all, and I'm gonna do whatever I can to get it all. Okay, but we'll talk about that on on what I call Freedom on Fire. Freedom on Fire is a show that's usually going to be on the Patreon channel for those who are members with $3 or more, or those who get a legal show membership through BOBTV. So, but back to Bernie Sanders. I met Bernie Sanders at a Verizon rally. This was before he ran for president. And yeah, he was spending time in black neighborhoods. He was spending time with working people. I mean, quality time with the megaphone, just like you saw there. He didn't stand to a podium. He actually had a megaphone. And he stood out there for 3 hours campaigning and fighting for those workers. And this is where Bernie Sanders is going to have a lot of advantage over other candidates. And this is what's going to give him a strong posture, because the working class people are for Bernie Sanders, because they know Bernie Sanders will go out and fight for them. And he has a record of fighting for them. His recent record was dealing with Disney, and recent record dealing with Amazon.com. Okay. So he has a proven track record of fighting for workers. He don't fight for black people. He don't fight for Hispanic. Well, that's a different subject. He fight for workers. And workers come black, white, Hispanic. Bernie Sanders is your equal. He's fighting for equal rights. Okay. I can't take that from him. And honestly speaking, you can try to take that from him, but his policies are equal rights policies. That has nothing to do with reparations. Reparations is a totally different deal, and people have a right to demand reparations. But he's an equal rights person. Okay? To me, equal rights include reparations to give us equal rights with majority of the white Caucasian society, who we really built this country on our backs. But going to Bernie Sanders have always campaigned. I remember I'm a TW Local 100 member, and I remember him coming to TW Local 100 and talked about the needs of the working people and what can he do to push for easier ways of getting in the union, card checks, fighting for workers' rights, workers being part of boards of companies. We talked about all that in that private meeting and how he wants to do that. So what Bernie Sanders did was he sat there and heard from the union workers and the union leaders on their most pressing needs. And that's why I'm suggesting, Senator Sanders, if you want to get the black vote, and people say, well, he already said no. Okay, let me deal with this. Okay. There's no politician that champion black issues. None. None. Not even black politicians. Not even black politicians in office. ADOS politicians never champion black policies. When it comes to our federal government and the leaders in our government, they're not just going to give you anything. You got to make a hard demand. And that's why I support what ADOS is doing. But it's not going to be overnight. You can't expect them, none of them, to automatically come your way. This is a fight. And this is not a marathon. I mean, this is not a race or sprint. This is a marathon. We got 2 years to apply the pressure on people like Bernie Sanders and Cory Booker and all of them to answer the needs of the black community. And as long as you keep saying no black agenda, because reparations is just one of the issues on the black agenda. You got one group saying no black agenda, no vote. You got one people say no reparations, no vote. Some reparation is part of the black agenda, but yeah, there's a lot of other things beside reparation in the black agenda. So we got people who saying that, but most of them understand that it's not going to be an overnight thing. You got to apply that political pressure on them to go that way. Bernie Sanders could never got people talking about Medicare for all until you apply it to his supporters, apply the political pressure. They literally said, you're not going to be for Medicare, you don't get my vote. Sound familiar? You're not going to be for reparations, you're not going to get my vote. So yes, Bernie Sanders need to have a taste of his own medicine. But I'm not going to sit here and act like he don't care about working people. I'm not going to say, if he didn't care about working people, he wouldn't be out there in the hot sun sometimes. At his age, 3 hours with the bullhorn, champion the rights of working people. He wouldn't go to companies and demand that they change some of their structures. He would not go to companies and saying, hey, you need to have, you need to have some of these workers on your board so you can make better decisions. You need to offer dividends to your workers. He wouldn't be going around pushing for education when it comes to co-opting. Co-opting is when the workers decide to take over a company and pay the workers what they deserve, like Interfaith in New York City. So he's a labor man. I'm not taking that away from him. And and look, there have been some people who didn't go along with our agendas, yet they still did things for a lot of people. Okay. So I'm not going to take that away and then, oh, you caping for Bernie Sanders. No, I'm not caping. I'm just always going to tell you the truth. That man been out there and champion working people. He may not be champion black people. Me personally, I think they need to look at particular issues in the black community, listen to the black community, spend quality time with the black community so the black community can tell you their needs and do whatever they can to help you help them. And right now he's not doing that. That's why I say keep applying the political pressure, because even though he's saying no, doesn't mean he's going to always say no. Just like most of the politicians in Capitol Hill. They were saying no to Green New Deal. They didn't know what the heck it was anyway. Jill Stein was pushing that. Wasn't even part of the Democratic Party. But now it's a main issue. They wasn't talking about Medicare for all. But once they start finding out that we were not going to vote for Medicare, anybody who's not going to support it, still to this day, they started moving the goalposts toward Medicare for all. Same thing with education. Same thing with prescription drugs. They wasn't championing those things. They could care less. They was too busy kissing up to the people who were trying not to give us those things. But the applied political pressure of the no, you're not going to get my vote began to grow, and they moved in certain time our direction. Same thing going to happen with ADOS and the black agenda. You keep taking your stance, and you keep saying that if you're not going to spend time in our community, if you're not going to get to know our community, if you're not going to listen to the people in our community, let us tell you our agenda, key word, let us tell you our agenda, and do whatever you can to implement it, we're not voting for you. We need Medicare for all. We need blah, 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 blah. We know we need that. That's a given. We know Medicare need to be on the table. We know education need no-cost education need to be on the table. We know all these things need to be on the table. But when it comes to the black community, we got specific needs that need to be on the table separate from that. That's why I said I want this and I want that. I ain't got to choose one or two. If you want to choose one or two, that's up to you. And you ain't going to force me. That's another thing about this channel. This is not an ADOS channel. This is a news and a political analysis channel. Yet I support ADOS, and I always tell people I'm not the expert. You got to go talk to Professor Truth, listen to his show, great show. Claude Anderson, Tone Speak, Yvette Carnell. I mean, it's a lot of people that are really honing on this subject. That's mostly majority of what they're talking about right now. Me, I talk about everything in the world and in the news and in my local neighborhood. I'm a different genre. I'm not that genre, even though I support that. Even though I support that. And like I said, no politician will automatically come to your favor or come to support what you do right away. Majority of them are not going to do that. It's going to take applied political pressure to move them that way. And it starts now. So I say, don't expect none of them. Expect all of them to pander. Expect some of them just say no. I'd rather have a no vote than a person that's pandering, because I know where you stand, and now I know where I can work on that. See, these people who pandering saying that this is a reparation, this is reparation. No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. So I'm going to continue to apply the political pressure on people, because whenever I see Bernie Sanders or anybody running for office, I'm going to say, if you look down here at the bottom of at my who is Robert Brown or BOBTV, you'll see the things that I believe in. The reparations is there. Now people get mad because I do include needs of Native American in there, because I'm black and I'm Native American in my blood. I got both in my blood. But right now my focus is on the ADOS, the black side, because man, the stuff my grandma and grandfather and they told me that their grandfather and grandmother told them, ain't no way. Like, I'm really hard on this no vote. My granddaddy got dragged trying to vote, counting beans out the jar, and he still tried to go in there and vote. They beat him down and dragged him. Dragged him. He fought for us to vote. So I ain't gonna say I ain't gonna vote. You can say whatever you want. I'm going to vote if I have to go in that voting booth and write in ADOS or write in Green Party or Mickey Mouse. But I'm going there and exercise my right to vote, my respect. But that doesn't mean I'm voting for a Democrat. That doesn't mean I'm voting for Bernie Sanders or anybody else. I'm still telling you no. I tell you no in your face, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to vote. I'm just not going to vote for you. Now, you got a segment of the ADOS community say, look, no vote. That's your choice. You have a right to not vote. You have the right to vote. And that's your personal decision. You can't tell me what to do with my vote. Fully on you. I'm going to vote. I'm just not going to vote for, right now I hold my right. Right now I have nobody who I'm firm on voting for until they go into the black community. Spend quality time with the black community, quality time, and not just one time. I'm talking about consistently in the black community. Go into the community and listen to their needs. See, that's something Obama did in 2018. He went in, knocked on the doors, he sat with people in the black community in 2008. and get to understand their needs. You don't tell them what they need. You let them tell you what they need, and you work with them to draft up a platform to cater to that need. Unfortunately, that's what Donald Trump did. Donald Trump went to the black community and went to black churches to understand the black need, and he ended up chipping away at some of the black vote. I didn't even talk about his urban agenda he just passed executive order on. I'm going to talk about that one day. But that's what he did. He outdid the Democrats when it came to helping the black community. It's only a scratch. It ain't, I mean, he ain't really helping the black community, but at least he got a little scratch of some things that he's going to do. You go take a look at that initiative he got. It does have a teeny tiny bite, but not enough. Not enough. Anyway, like I said, I'm not going to, it's two things I will always not try to take away, and nobody can take away, because like Nina Turner said, he got the receipts. What you did in the past is great. I'll never take that from you. I'm concerned about what you did in the past, but I'm also looking at what you're doing now. Bernie's is fighting for working people. I give him that, but he need to take some time and specifically go to the black community and say, I'm going to fight for you. Now, a lot of people say, well, he's racist, and I'm very timid on calling people racist, because sometimes we can be racist. A racist is a person who discriminate or hate a person on the simple fact of their color. That is a racist. Their race of color. And I'm not quick to say that. Do I think him ignoring black issues and the reparation issue and not taking it serious, do I think that's a white supremacist move? I think that's somebody who just don't care. I think that's a person just being too careful on walking a fine line, because he feared that if he do support, he's going to lose a lot of segment of a lot of cultures who probably don't want to see black people get ahead. So he'll rather not say anything or do anything to try to get all of it. I think that lacks guts. You need to have some guts. To me, that's cowardly. You need to have the guts and say, yeah, we're going to take care of the black community. Yeah, they deserve reparations. It's time. And I'm not going to try to determine on what it is. I'm going to spend time with them and find out what it is. And I'm going to go to the leaders who've been working on this for a while. And like I said, well, I'm going to be going over the HRs concerning reparations and what they really are soon. But when I talk about reparations, I'm talking about a check. See, Bernie is not for a check. And that's not fair. That's not fair, because they cut checks for the Holocaust victims, but they didn't cut a check for black people for the slave and the hell that we've been through for 300 years. All right, so again, Bernie's in his element, fighting for working people. He is a fighter for working people. I can't take care of that. I can't take that away from him. And like I said, I judge people based on what they've done before, and he's done some fighting for working people, even black people in campaign, and even were arrested fighting for black issues. Got to give him that. But right now, I need you to fight for black issues, bruh. You're fighting for working issues, but working issue is not the same as black issues. And when you start talking about fighting for black issues, then you're going to start getting a little more support. Now, I got to tell you, whoever gets the black vote will win in the in the primaries. He who gets the black vote will win in the primaries. See, that's the thing about the primaries. It's easy to win. The black vote always carry the win in the primaries. In the general, the vote that carries the win is the independents. I'm just telling you that, because even though we have the black vote, if the black vote go out in high numbers, it's either going to be barely enough or not enough. And when it comes to defeating Trump, you need a blowout. You don't need a barely enough, and you don't need a not enough. So you got to be testy. You got to be careful on this black vote for those who want to win the presidency. If you want to win the presidency, you got to do whatever you need to get that black vote. You got to get out of yourself, get out of your own mind, get out of your own vision for America, and spend time with black people in the black community, quality time, hearing from them, finding out their needs, and putting that in your platform to answer those needs if you want to win the primaries. Now, I shouldn't be giving you no advice at all because I'm a true independent. I don't support parties. I support people. And I don't let people tell me who I get to support. That's my own personal thing. And you may not know who I voted for. And a lot of people, I don't tell who I vote for because they want to get in a fight. None of their business who I vote for. I can tell you I voted green last time, 2018, 2016, whatever. I voted green because Jill Stein was the best candidate. She didn't have the the numbers wasn't there for her, but I'd rather vote for underdog than two dogs. So I voted green, and they believe in reparations. And it looked like I may be doing that again. I'd rather invest my vote somewhere that's going to cater to the black agenda. Who knows? I might vote for somebody running in the Black Panther Party. You never know. You never know. I vote where my vote I'll invest my vote for the future to get a return in the future. Some of you vest for something right now. That's your prerogative. But me, my vote is, I look at my vote as a seed that is supposed to grow. Okay. Some of you just give up. You look at the vote like I call it slut voting. So you just give it up. You just give up the vote to anybody. You don't have no relationship. Don't know who they is. Don't know their record. Never been around them. Never campaign. They could be throwing stuff at their campaign staff like Amy Klobuchar. Come on, guys. You got to get better than that. Got to get better than that. So again, Bernie Sanders in his element, fighting for working people. That's what he do, and that's why his numbers are strong among the multicultural. Because we're not going to get every black on the ADLS. You're not going to get whatever agenda Hispanic got. Not everybody's going to follow that agenda. I mean, it's just some people want more. It's just the way it is. You can try to convince a person above their will, but they'll be of the same opinion still. The working class got their champion, and their champion is Bernie Sanders. Ain't nothing you can do about it to take that away from the working class. Black agenda, we're looking for our champion. And right now, we don't see a champion because that champion don't see us. And they need to take time to come out and spend time with us. Kamala Harris is not it. Cory Booker is not it. Bernie Sanders got a shot, but he's screwing it up. So he'll rather champion working issues than black issues. But I encourage my black community, keep doing what you're doing. No politician goes to your favor. No politician will really push for the rights and the agenda of black people unless you force them. And the only way you can get that force in is now during the primaries. Once it get over to the general, your vote still matter, but that independent vote is way bigger than any other vote. It's bigger than the Republican vote, the Democratic vote. So he who win the independents will win the general. And that's the reason why Trump won. It wasn't Russia, nothing like that. He won the independents. Half those independents refused to vote for Hillary Clinton. They don't like her. And Trump was something new and they went for it. All right. So, but the main goal is now. We got to send the signal now to these politicians that, hey, we're tired of being ignored. We're tired of you taking us for granted. We're tired of you thinking that you're just going to get our vote. No. You ain't getting our vote until we see you make some moves toward us. We ain't making no moves toward you. You can put all the black faces up here that's running for office you want. We ain't buying that no more. You can put up the Cory Bookers, you can put up the Deval Patrick, you can put up the Kamala Harris, you can put up all these black people. We ain't falling for the old okie doke. You can put up the working class man like Bernie Sanders, but he haven't showed anything saying what he want to do for the black community. His thing is equal rights for all communities. No, equal rights still gonna put us behind. You know, because we need a wealth gap to be closed. It ain't about equal rights. It's a wealth gap. And we need something to close that wealth gap. And he's not trying to push anything to close that wealth gap. So right now, the only politicians that for reparation is that lowball with Marianne Williamson. And even Andrew Yang, that $1,000 a month sound great. I can use it. Guaranteed, but that ain't enough to close the wealth gap. I can't buy my own business with $1,000 extra in my pocket. So things gotta change. Things gotta change. But anyway, this report was about Bernie Sanders and him being in his element, fighting for working people, and that is good. Do your thing, fight for working people. But bruh, if you want to win the election, if you're really serious about a revolution, you better come over here and talk to us and get out of yourself. Because right now, and see, here's the bottom line, and I'm almost done. Somebody's going to win that primary. Even if we do hold our vote, somebody's going to win that primary. I want that to sink. Now, Bernie Sanders is in a good position to win the primary because he got a huge army of multicultural people of all colors. But the thing about it is a lot of them are independents. And the Democrats are known for closed primaries, and independents cannot vote in closed primaries. That's why I am for open primaries. I am for same-day registration, and I am for voting day to be a holiday. You open the primaries and let people like me, independents, in, because you can count my vote out in primaries. Because I'm not a Democrat. I'm an independent. I vote in the general. Republican Democrats on their own. If you want me to vote for you, you got to open up that primary. I'm not going to register before the deadline in New York City, which is this June. An election ain't till next November. They want you to register by this August. What kind of mess is that? Election 2 years, almost 2 years from now, and you want me to register to be in your freaking party 2 years from now. Yet at the same time, you don't give me no reason to register. Trump is not reason enough. Most black people ain't scared of Trump. We've been dealing with Trumps all our lives. Some people are scared because the media made them scared. But most real black folks have been dealing with Trump all our lives. So you can't wave Trump in our face to make us scared. That just don't work. You think we should be scared, but we're not scared. So, so you can count me out of voting in the Democratic Party anyway. I'm not joining the Democratic Party to vote for nobody, not even Bernie Sanders. He can support reparations and go all out and spend time with the black community. And I'm an independent. I'll see you in the general. If you make it through the primary, you make it through the primary. I'll see you in the general. If you don't make it in the general, it ain't my fault. You didn't get your Democratic base out there to vote for you. And the Democrats made it hard for me to vote for you because in order for me to vote for you, they got this freaking stinking rule that I got to become one of them to vote for you. I ain't becoming one of them. So since they're not changing that, I'll see you in the general. I'm Robert Brown with the Rob Report. I'll let you later. Peace.